Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MNW Firing Line, your guide to Multiverse Nexus Wrestling. I'm your host, Jerry Aldini, and with me, as always, is Pete McPherson.
Hello.
And we'd like to, you might have noticed a little upgrade in the graphics at the beginning. We'd like to send a great shout out to Travis A. Carey for producing our new opening video. And with that, Dan, how are you doing tonight, Pete?
Hanging in there.
That's the best we can, anyone can hope in these times.
It has been an interesting week in Multiverse Nexus Wrestling.
Oh boy, that's for sure. A lot going on, a lot happening in the title scenes, and yeah, just we are clearly we're still in the on ramp to it's kind of the back road to Multivania right now. I'd say we're looking for the on ramp, but we've got the map out.
We've asked the local gas station attendant for directions.
Yeah, and he's looked creepy and ominous and given us warnings. And I'm pretty sure
Multivania.
And I'm pretty sure his name was Mordecai.
Ooh, that's never a good sign.
It's not really. No. Hey, did you before we get into MNW stuff, did you happen to catch any of the special AEW show last night?
I did catch a bit of it.
What'd you think about that ending?
Well, there were blood, and there was almost guts.
Yeah. I mean, kind of, made sure the advertising wasn't false. Yeah, no, it's good. I also, it's been impressive, and I know we like to talk a little bit about it because it's fun to look at what the other feds are doing. But in the end, we are Multiverse Nexus Wrestling, and we must focus on our own little corner of the wrestling world. So
absolutely.
Do we have anything else we need to cover tonight before we get into the show proper?
I cannot think of anything.
Yep. All right. Well, then let's. And this week, this was an interesting week for Friday Night Flashbang. We get used to things. You get used to the patterns of how the show starts. On Friday night, usually we open the show, somebody's walking to the ring, grabbing a microphone and telling us something. That was not what happened this week. And in fact, what we got this week was the in-ring solo return of Tiki the Troll taking on Fokim Wang of Fabulous. This I thought was interesting. So you've got Tiki getting into the ring for the first time in over a year as a solo competitor. It
has been a while.
Yeah, facing the person I think you could argue is the power forward of Fabulous, the most successful member of that particular faction.
Yeah.
I mean, Wang has many distinctions, not the least of which one of the few people to have won 3 showcase matches. One of the people who's eyeing Big Rock's record very closely. And generally in Fabulous matches where they are one of the partners is the person who usually gets the job done. On the other hand, we're reminded that Tiki has held that role for Troll Train, which is interesting when you consider his partner is Johan Mjoln. So yeah, this is an interesting matchup, but really I felt very appropriate. If you want Tiki to come out and show that the ring rust is off, that he's ready to go, you don't send him up against an easy opponent. You got to give him somebody significant, and I feel that Fokim Wang is that significance. Even if people still make the mistake of underestimating him.
I can argue that Wang is very significant.
Yeah. So when you're looking at this, And also, let's face it. I mean, yeah, maybe a little ring rust. I mean, Tiki is still getting used to being mobile again. And I think the other thing is that Wang is not somebody who's going to take it easy on you for any reason. They're going to come in, they're going to get the job done, and they're looking for a win. They're always a tough competitor. Which, if you ask me, and again, you've got Wang, a solid submission player as well as a solid power player. And yeah, it's good work. But on the other hand, Tiki's not going to be one to be underestimated. And he's got a point to prove. And with it, managing to get a decisive win over the power player of Fabulous. So, welcome back, Tiki, to full-time wrestling. So, a great way to start off the night.
Yeah, it's always great when you've been gone for a while and you come back and you're able to beat Wang.
Yeah, it is. And with that, now, while that was a great opening, and as we said, a little bit of a break from what we're used to. We're used to the show starting off, somebody coming to the ring and having something to say. Once that match was over, well, that's exactly what happened. And the person that came down has been the center of a lot of controversy on Flashbang of late. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Fey Queen, Kathgina.
Well, it's nice to see that you're all as easily manipulated as ever. Jagger comes out here with not one, but two explanations to try to defend his actions. The noble Jagger Blackthorn, the murderer Jagger Blackthorn. A man who is a glorified mercenary. Our first confrontation was hastily thrown together, but I am making a declaration here and now that the brass will pay attention to my plight, and if you will not answer for your crimes truthfully, then I will put you in your place because you are a liar. You didn't spare anyone. You didn't stop anyone's suffering. You just passed it on to me. And until I get my hands on Jagger Blackthorn, I will begin to make an example out of this entire roster. I have played the kind, cuddly Fae for too long. Jagger, your days are marked. So saith the Queen.
Oh boy, that's you know what, of all the things that happened during that, the thing that disturbed me the most, if I didn't see her and I didn't hear the difference in the voice, I would have assumed that was a promo by Earl King Wes.
Ooh.
I mean, she used a lot of the same wording he does, a lot of the same threats he makes against the entire show. So yeah, that sounded a lot like Earl King, and especially the threats of if she doesn't get what she wants, she's going to make the entire roster suffer. So yeah, that's where we are, and well. It's going to have to see how, well, we will see later in the evening part of how that turns out. But yeah, it's going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on. It is definitely a dark path that she's going down, and I don't think it's going to end well for really anyone. And with that, getting back on track. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it does happen that sometimes we don't have it, but really, is it really an episode of Friday Night Flashbang without a showcase match? And this week, the showcase participants are the perennial underdog, Cool J. Kyo, Alexis Edmonton, followed by Suicide Gemini, Brandon Boss, the member of the Princeton Sir Percival, Lasume01 the Robot, Aurelian Starhand, Joseph Cowman, and there's our 8. So a lot of interesting things this week. One of the things, a lot of people were talking about Cool J. Kyo. There's been a lot of talk about people's positions and who they are and what we know about them. And somebody made an interesting comparison for Kyo. He reminds them of nothing so much as a young lion out of New Japan.
Oh, okay.
Hasn't really established much about himself. We don't know a lot, but he's out there doing the job, looking to make his mark. And in the meantime, the first elimination of the night goes to Suicide Gemini, taking out Sir Percival. And thus the eliminations begin. This was very late in the match. We were nearly 10 minutes into the match when it happened.
It is unusual.
It is. I mean, the whole crew stayed for a very long time. But then we get the next sequence. Once you're down to 7, and if you look here, the first thing you're going to see is Lasume getting a pin on Cool J. Kyo. The only 2 good bots in MNW, and one eliminated the other. But then you have the next sequence, which is while Lasume goes after Joseph Cowman. You have a Suicide Gemini going after Alexis Edmonton, while, I don't know if you noticed, Lasume took out Joseph Cowman.
And that's 2 eliminations for Gemini.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah, and then here, I mean, notice we haven't cut away yet. And it's double pins. First, you have Aurelian Starhand taking out Gemini. Oh, I was wrong about Cowman. That was a miss. But then you've got Brandon Boss being taken out by Lasume.
Brandon Boss has been eliminated.
No, I wasn't wrong about Cowman. I don't know why I thought. Anyway, oh yeah, he is still in. It's sorry, I got my notes mixed up. I had the wrong person that was eliminated. But still, it comes down to Cowman, Starhand, and Lasume. So we had four eliminations in about a minute's time.
Down goes Starhand.
And now you have Lasume going and eliminating Aurelian Starhand. And then basically doing a body slam on Cowman on the outside.
Body slam onto the mat.
Yeah, just and in the end, Lasume just wasn't going to be denied this evening. Not matching Henry Colt's record, obviously. Enough eliminations from Suicide Gemini and others to prevent that. But still, Lasume gets the victory in that match. And in case anyone out there is wondering where that leads us for the all-important record that is the showcase wins, Lasume01 is now the 4th member of the Flashbang roster to have 3 showcase match wins. So Lasume enters, and just as a recap, and this is why, especially of late, showcases have become competitive because people are looking at racking up those multiple showcase wins to make the argument of they should have stronger standing in the roster. Of course, you have 4 official wins in showcases. This is official by when we started keeping track of these wins. 4 official wins by Big Rock. In the 3-win club is the Mad Jester Fool, Fuck Him Wang, the Aristocratic Canid, and Lasume 01 the Robot. And then you have the 2-win crew, which is Huge Bane, Madness, Suicide Gemini, Brandon Boss, the Curator, Matt Baker, and Dragoon. So that's the current status as it stands for all of the various wrestlers who have made a name for themselves in the showcase. This is going to be important. Hang on to those thoughts. Keep track of that. We're going to revisit this in just a little bit. Does that count as foreshadowing?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm never sure. So earlier we had seen Kath Gina come to the ring and make her dire warning to the brass, give her Jagger Blackthorn, or she is going to go through the roster. And as a kickoff to that, we have TK of Spectre Sonata facing Kath Gina in a match. This is, I want to say this is their first singles encounter. I think they've been in various multi-wrestler matches, but this is the first time they faced each other one-on-one.
I agree. I think you are correct.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing to remember here is, yes, Kath Gina is enraged. Kath Gina is a dangerous fae. Excuse me. But TK's pinned Johan. TK has pinned Johan. Yeah. TK has body slammed Johan. Do not be fooled by her size. She is again, I can never pronounce it. I want to say Nekomata.
Nekomata.
I'm getting closer every time. A fox spirit. She is powerful. She is a force to be reckoned with. And if we ever get PM Ghost back from wherever he's vanished to, Spectre Sonata could be a very interesting contender for Doom's Trios Championship.
And also, slight correction, it's more of a feline than Fox. Fox would be closer. Fox would be closer to Kitsune.
Yeah, I was confusing with Demolition for a minute. And I know she. I mean, there's a reason she's TK. She's, you're right. It is Cat. That was my error. I'm sorry.
Well, just clarifying for the audience out there.
Yep. And so the battle goes on. TK making a fine performance while Kath Gina again wants to make her point that the brass needs to listen to her, or she's going to run roughshod over the roster. But as we said earlier, do not ever underestimate the power of TK. She is a fierce competitor, and as we see here, getting that. I've got to get back to better at learning these move names there, Pete. But either way, getting the 1, 2, 3 on Kath Gina. So Kath Gina's reign of terror on the roster is not off to what we would call a stellar start, with TK of Spectre Sonata getting the win. Although while we were calling that match, there was a post on social media from Kath Gina saying, second, Jerry, she and I met once before, and the next time I shall make it the last. As we said, Kath Gina in a very dark place right now.
So it would seem.
So with that, the next segment, we have the representative of the brass, Mr. Lawson, comes to the ring to give us an update on the status of who will be Nero Napier's #1 contender.
You see, the team of Helix Sucks, El Pollo de la Muerte, and Jagger Blackthorn have one thing in common. Every time I have put Jagger and El Pollo in a match, they have come out on the winning side of it. And Helix, your reputation knows no bounds, and you helped your team win last week, despite Nero and Earl King trying to stack the deck. Now, that being said, there's still one more hurdle for all of you. Tonight, the three of you will compete in a triple threat match, and only then will we have a new #1 contender for Nero's World Heavyweight Championship. So, each of you will have an opportunity to prove yourself. Pick up that win, and it could make you a star. Lose, and it could send you to the back of the line. It's really all up to you, and I wish all three of you the absolute best of luck, as the best that Flashbang has to... new #1 contender to fall to me. I didn't stack the deck. I was just saddled with some extra weight. Earl King and I could have done a better job on our own. But sure, it'll be fun to have some new blood come after this champion. Excellent. I'm glad you think so. Although, if you're scheming up any ideas to get involved in that matchup, I would highly recommend against it. Because if you or any member of Apex affects the decision of that match, I will throw out the results and you will face every member of that triple threat. Do I make myself clear? Actually, Mr. Lawson, you misunderstand. I would be happy to face them all. In fact, that's actually why I'm out here. Now, you've already made your declaration, but I have a much more intriguing idea. Even if I lose, I get a rematch. In this particular matchup that I'm suggesting, I either go in as a challenger or I go in as champion. I think that's fair, considering the length of my title reign is unmatched in the history of this company. Fair enough. If you successfully defend your title, I will hear out your idea. And if you lose against the new #1 contender, yes, I will guarantee you a spot in this matchup, assuming I like the idea and the brass likes the idea. So quit wasting my time. What is your brilliant idea? It's quite simple, Lawson. People say I haven't earned this championship, that I'm hiding behind Apex. Well, I want to put the doubters to bed. So, in a Flashbang staple, I propose an 8-man showcase match for my World Heavyweight Championship. A showcase match for your title. You know, I like the sound of that. I'll tell you what, Nero. Maybe this triple threat match will grant you a contender, but I might skip right to this showcase. I will think it over with the brass, but I do like your idea. That's 7 challengers for you, Nero. In fact, we'll do this. I'll take it a step further. We will have a series of qualifying matches over the next couple of weeks to determine who will be in that showcase, and it will be the grandest showcase we have ever seen, with your title on the line. And the winner of this triple threat will qualify for that showcase. Have a great rest of your night, Nero. I like the way you think.
So that, well... That's
that isn't foreboding at all.
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, first off, whatever else you can say about Nero Napier, let's give him credit. He proposed an idea that does not give him the advantage. I mean, I understand he's had a shadow over his reign from the very beginning, considering how he won that belt from Ginger Boy last year at Multivania. and several of his title defenses were equally sullied, although of late he's been getting away from that and having straight up wins, I think, to try and erase the stink of the early part of his reign. And I think this is his attempt to fully legitimize it by taking on, honestly, one of the hardest challenges he could face. But there's another part of that. Now, earlier we had been talking about how the showcase matches have been becoming more competitive, with wrestlers vying for multiple wins as part of their bragging rights. And with that, we've had several competitors already coming forth and declaring their intention to qualify for that showcase match. And we'll probably hear a lot more about that tomorrow night on Flashbang. But several of the people who have been throwing their hat in the ring, so to speak, are showcase regulars, as well as various people who have feel they have various reasons to take on Nero. And what the brass had let known is all they require is people coming forth and declaring, it could even just be a simple message saying that they won in the match, to be put into consideration for that special showcase. One of those, it makes you wonder, how is this going to play to various strengths? We know we have Big Rock, the undisputed king of the showcase matches. You have the upper card members. You have the Helix Sucks and El Pollo and Jagger Blackthorn, who will see their match later to qualify for that match. Depending on what his physical condition is, you have Henry Colt, the man who has on record the most eliminations in a single showcase. You have the people we named earlier, the 3-Win Club, who are all potential contenders in that match if they throw their hat in the ring. So very much an open field. But as Lawson said, just declaring isn't enough. The declaration will get you into a qualifying match. We don't know what those qualifying matches are going to look like. So,
and we probably won't until the matches themselves.
Yeah, probably learn about them, the first ones, tomorrow night, because I imagine we'll see some of those first ones tomorrow night. And it's also going to be interesting because one question a lot of people asked is, are members of Apex going to actually throw their names in to compete for their leader's belt? Are allies like the Empire of Terror? I mean, it would be odd to see that not happening. If Earl King West doesn't step forward for these, I will be very surprised. And then, of course, all the rest. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting run, that's for sure. With that, though, it is time to move on. And while we are discussing Nero's belt, there is another championship that needs to be decided. And that is who is going to face Doom as their first challengers for their Trios Championship. So various Trios teams on the roster have been having matches to eventually earn the opportunity to face the Trios champions. And the next match of that variety, oh, and by the way, thank you to Hartley Reaper for hosting us with one viewer. And to that point, Vaporwave comes out to face House Caliban. And this is interesting because at Breakdown 6, Dr. Caliban had issued an open challenge to anyone for any who wanted to take on House Caliban. And the team that stepped up was Vaporwave. And we thought at the time we were going to get a House Caliban versus Vaporwave match, except that Nakama Worldwide then inserted themselves in the match as well. And it was Nakama Worldwide that ate the loss to Thunderbolt. So not only is this a chance to qualify for the Trios Championship, but it's the chance for these two teams to finally have the matchup they had intended to have at Breakdown.
And here comes the powerhouse of Vaporwave.
And it's interesting how these match up. You've got, of course, we just saw Aqualung taking on the Sandman. Now you have Rico Rose taking on Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, of course, often a lot of people look as the anchorman of the Time Bandits with his powerful submission game, his clear strikes, his focus and determination. But then you've got the Creation, who is generally a singles wrestler, but is teaming with his brother and the Sandman to form a trios team, and here taking on the leader of Vaporwave. This was an interesting moment. This was very early in the match. The Creation and Paulo had only been in for a couple of minutes when the Creation immediately went for the Wheel of Pain. And while that was an interesting move, perhaps the Creation was hoping to end the match early. But most people, when they get put in the Wheel of Pain, aren't as fresh as Apollo Hades was. And Apollo now stands as, I want to say, in total, the third or fourth person to actually break out of the Wheel of Pain.
That's what he needs to do.
Right.
And with that, a lot of people were questioning, is Vaporwave going to actually manage to beat House Caliban? But towards the end of the match, after Apollo had been worked over, with the help of Sandman, the Creation got Apollo in the Wheel of Pain once again, and this time it was the usual story. And the Wheel of Pain immediately leads Apollo to tapping out and puts the members of House Caliban one step closer to facing Doom for the Trios Championship. And I'll be honest, that would be an interesting matchup. For those who are familiar with the early days of Friday Night Flashbang, the first ever episode of Friday Night Flashbang featured a trios tag team match of Shoot Nation in its original lineup facing Doom and the Creation. And the team of Doom and the Creation won that match, with the Creation pinning Devon. And early on, it looked like the Creation was going to, at the very least, be an ally of Doom. And then, of course, the whole situation with the kidnapping and the brain replacement occurred. But still, Doom and House Caliban have had ties in the past, certainly encounters. If they end up facing, then that would be certainly an interesting matchup.
That it would.
But who do you like? Because I know a lot of people are still liking the Empire for a shot. And a lot of people are talking about they expect it to come down to the Empire versus House Caliban as the final people looking to qualify.
Yeah, I mean that certainly is a strong pairing.
But
there.
It is, but we still have other trios teams looking to qualify, several other possibilities. So we'll have to wait and see how that comes out in the end.
Yep.
In the meantime, the next match, speaking of Doom, and also speaking of titles, after much back and forth, we ended up with an interesting champion versus champion match. That, of course, being the Night Reaper, Zericus, accompanied by Michael Macabre, facing Spike, accompanied by Burden. So a trios champion versus a tag team champion. And this is also, you've got the Nightmare Demon versus the Voodoo Master. my first thought was I felt very sorry for the ref. Was really my first thought. I can only imagine what the temperature in that ring was at that time.
It's going to be Spike versus Zericus, tag champion versus trios champion, and still to come later tonight.
And
yes, as one with the cyber controller after last week's shenanigans, where Michael Macabre rolled him up after the distraction.
I was just look. It looks like the production truck had a little bit of an odd edit there, but I think we're okay.
Spike, a man.
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, now the Night Reaper has had a long history, some interesting matches. We of course know that he had that controversial move in the Monster Mash where he eliminated himself and Fuck Him Wang. He and Doom overall have been making a lot of great strides, especially since their feud with Meme began, that ultimately led them to getting the Trios Championship. There's been a lot of talk of where they're going to end up, who they're going to end up facing, and what kind of name they're going to be making for themselves. On the other hand, you've got the Bone Warriors, a team. They have held the tag team belts since last Multivania. They are almost at a year as tag champions. Certainly the longest standing tag team champions in MNW history.
Takes out the legs and now punches.
Certainly.
And that makes you wonder. These are two powerful teams, but who can, how does this come out? I mean, Doom has already tried to take on the Bone Warriors for those belts, and of course, well, we know how that ended.
And look out here.
But a lot of go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with yeah.
Out of the corner with the Death Valley
driver. But in the end, you have the Death Valley driver on the Night Reaper, and Spike picks up a victory.
Here is your winner, Spike!
So, and I'm getting we're getting a tweet on the social media from the Bone Warriors account, and this is interesting. Longest running champions period. Our match was earlier in the night than Nero's, so our reign is 20 minutes longer.
Well, there you have it.
I mean, that's just math. You can argue with a lot of things in life, but you can't argue with math. I mean, people can try.
Well, you can, but usually you're wrong.
You're usually wrong, yeah. No, you don't argue with math. You certainly don't argue with math against Burden.
Yeah.
Generally, you just don't argue with Burden.
Generally.
I don't know. I mean, could have been Spike tweeting, but still, you make an assumption that you don't want to do that. Hey, the next match, by the way, also featured a member of Doom, and it featured what is becoming quite the rivalry with Doom, and that is Doom versus the Cyber Controller. After last week's match against Michael Macabre and the interference from Mad Jack, Cyber Controller wanted another match with Mad Jack. Now, if you don't remember, Cyber Controller came out to face Michael Macabre. Mad Jack came out, and Mad Jack didn't even really do anything. He just appeared, stood outside the ring, and Cyber Controller was so obsessed with the Pumpkin King that Michael Macabre was very quickly able to roll him up and pin him. It was such a short match, there wasn't even 3 minutes worth of match footage to put into a clip. And of course, the celebration that Macabre and Mad Jack had after the match. I mean, the mutual admiration they were having for each other really angered the Cyber Controller, leading to this match that we are looking at right now, where the Controller wants to get another victory over Mad Jack. He already holds one. And you'd think, well, and then you've got the controller making a declaration that he can absolutely take on the Pumpkin King. And here, apparently, he powered up. He I want to say overclocked himself.
Sure.
And then, yeah. And then he went for, and then a leg drop, because apparently he thought that was the best decision. And then ready to get Mad Jack into this predicament right here. And then, well, what happened? Mad Jack was not about to say die, not in this case. A lot on the line. Mad Jack is now the Trios champion, but the Cyber Controller wanting his, I guess, would it be Pound of Flesh with Mad Jack? I don't know. I don't know enough about.
I don't want to know.
Yeah. Let's just go with the metaphor right now. Unfortunately for the Cyber Controller, it wasn't to be, and Mad Jack picks up the victory. So this means in his recent attempts against Doom, he is now 2-0, but in matchups against Mad Jack, he is even 1-1. And Mad Jack's like, being very Mad Jack, good job, fellow. And the controller wants nothing to do with it. And Mad Jack's like, but what? It's all in good sport. Pretty sure that's what I heard him say.
Cyber Controller's being kind of rude there.
That was very rude. I mean, you know, there's many things you should be rude. I don't care if you're a cybernetic being. There is absolutely no reason to be rude. And hang on, Pete. The light's flashing. It's code D. We should pick it up. Hello, you're on Firing Line.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is 1/3 of the Trios champion, the bringer of the apocalypse, Michael Macabre. How are you doing tonight, Michael?
I'm doing fairly decent. Was watching over your little recap footage and couldn't help but bring myself to chuckle at Cyber Controller.
Well, that does seem to have been your the modus operandi of late between your match last week, the previous week, and then this last week's match with Mad Jack. It makes me wonder: is he going to have to face Zeracus tomorrow night, or are we going to maybe see something else?
Who am I to say truly in the lineups for matches tomorrow? However, it quite literally bores me continuing to compete against this walking tin can.
Sure, okay, fair. But with that, I mean, one thing we did note from a record standpoint, while the overall record with Doom now seems to be evening out, Cyber Controller is 1 win, 1 loss to Mad Jack. That brings up the question of a rubber match.
Possible. Who can tell?
But
I certainly.
Fair enough. Now, I've got a question for you, Michael, because I think this is going to be a standing question for a lot of wrestlers right now. Of course, you now hold gold as part of the Trios champions, but the question of Nero Napier's belt has come up and the potential for this showcase match for the title. Have you made any consideration of throwing your name in consideration to qualify for that showcase match?
I personally have not. It may seem odd to the people watching at home or listening in, but I care less for his title. It just really seems like a back and forth tug of war between children in my eyes.
All right. Well, then, Michael, do you have anything else you want to tell the Firing Line audience at this time?
As I said earlier, involving Cyber Controller, I grow bored and so does Zerachus. So as I left a message for the board to look over,
All right.
Uh-oh.
Are you? What is it? Wait a minute. What's happening? Did the lights did something? Oh,
hello,
ladies and gentlemen, it's the Mad Pumpkin King himself, Mad Jack.
Oh, you're too kind, Jerry. You lock the door again.
Would it?
Naughty,
well,
naughty.
but let's be fair.
Next time.
We know you can get in. You're not actually who we're locking it against.
Fair enough. How are you, old chaps?
We're doing well. Well, now that you're here, we can ask you directly. Mad Jack, it's 1-to-1, you versus a cyber controller. Are you looking for a decision-making rubber match against him?
No! I'm bored! We won these trios championships and now we're getting the meme treatment! Where's the challengers? Where's the competition? How many times do I have to fight this robot? I'm done with robots!
Words out of my mouth.
I'll tell you what, Jerry. I'm growing tired, so I'll throw this out there for the brass. Future Shock is in a week. Does anyone on Warzone want to figure their stuff out? Are you mad about your booking? Call 1-800-YOU'RE-DOOMED to figure out if you can make an appointment, maybe.
All right. I wasn't expecting that, but now that you've said it, it makes perfect sense. Okay. What about? But on to another. Who do you currently favor for a potential competitive team on Flashbang?
The guild seems to have their stuff together. Vaporwave when they're not distracted. Apex, since they have 1,372 members. Is the Empire of Terror still technically a thing? I don't know.
They seem to be all over the place. And don't forget House of Caliban won last week.
Oh, I almost forgot Trashman's Whipping Boy.
Oh. So, all right. Well, with that, is there anything as we wrap up that you'd like to tell the Firing Line audience?
Only that it doesn't matter who fights us for the trios titles. It doesn't matter if the cyber controller shows up on Flashbang with 2 partners and wants to take a shot if we're doing this whole best of 3 nonsense. The only thing that matters is that whoever steps to doom should remember 2 very important words. Michael?
Click. Doomsday.
Toodles.
Farewell.
Right. You know, that's yeah. Actually, you know what? Is it wrong that I'm beginning to find that comforting?
I mean, we've had worse
appearances,
so
yeah. Fair. Although it's interesting, while we were having that discussion on social media, Kathgina tweeted out, "To be fair, Jerry, Mad Jack is very handsome." Sure. I mean, why not? I mean,
we don't judge.
We don't judge at all. No, it's not what we do here. Right.
Well, I mean, we kind of do, but not about stuff like that.
No, not at all.
We judge strictly wrestling.
It's it's a modern era. It's okay to be fake. Right. Well, anyway, the next match coming up answers another important question. But to pose that question properly, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Flashbang audio promo of the week. I give you Spike.
Who is next? Who is next? The same question asked over and over. Who is next? This is what we wanted. The fights are getting harder. The results much closer, but it is not enough, Flashbang. Who is next? Who is next to fall?
And to answer that question, we have a tag contenders match. The forces of nature take on the Abyssal Void. The winner gets to face the Bone Warriors for the tag championship. And this is quite the matchup. The Elementals versus the Eldritch Horrors. Big Rock, as we've said, king of the showcase matches, had a title shot against Nero Napier after winning the Monster Mash, and his partner Huge Mane taking on Lord V and the Cleaver, basically, let's be honest, the powerhouses of the Empire of Terror.
Right.
And yeah, this is one of those. First off, with Big Rock and Lord V, how often do either of these guys have an opponent they can just look them square in the eye?
True.
And then you've got now in a recent match, people had pointed out that when things are moving quickly, it can be a little hard to tell Huge Mane from the Cleaver. Similar skin tones, similar skin textures. Other people say, does every inhuman entity look alike to you? As we said, we don't judge.
We don't judge.
We don't. It's bad practice to judge. But this neither these are, as Spike had been pointing out, we're getting to the point. These are two of the few teams in the tag division that haven't faced the Bone Warriors for the belts yet. And makes perfect sense that let's get these two to decide who's going to win. The question is, of course, what's next after this? Assuming the Bone Warriors stick to their normal pattern of winning, it's almost like somebody has to win soon, or we're going to have to start recycling teams.
He's got to stay focused.
Fortunately, it is good to recycle. So
it is, and I'm sure Big Rock and Huge Mane are big fans of recycling.
And now this could be
of course.
Looking for under a rock.
And yes, here we go. Under a rock. Oh, that's just. And this moment, that moment right there. The Cleaver, just one of those bad moments. He's rushing in, clips the ref, and that just throws him off just enough to not get the breakup and hand the win to the forces of nature. So hang on, I'm getting a note from Phyllis. We've got a call. She says I want to take. So let's get this in. Hello, you're on Firing Line.
Yes, hello. Flashbang. It is yours truly, the Grim Reaper, the Spectre of Death. Yes, go ahead.
Welcome to the show, Grim Reaper. What is it you have to say to the Firing Line audience?
Oh, I want to make sure that my declaration was going through each and every one of you. I want Nero's gold. I have set my eyes on the prize, and that is the World Heavyweight title.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Grim Reaper right here on MNW Firing Line declaring his intentions to qualify for the heavyweight title showcase match. Well, thank you very much, Grim Reaper. Is duly noted, and we know the brass is listening. So your declaration is in.
For the rest of the other opponents, rest in peace.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Grim Reaper declaring his contendership to qualify for that 8-man showcase match to win the World Heavyweight title. I think that's a first for us there, Pete, getting a declaration right here on Firing Line.
I think so.
Not the person I expected to do it, but okay. I mean, I expected it. I just didn't expect it was going to be the Grim Reaper.
Right.
You know who I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't been around. I could be jinxing us. You know what? Let's. All right. Before we get into, because we're almost at the main event of last Friday, but first, well, you know how of late we've been getting. You know what? I'm not even going to set it up. I'm just going to play the clip. Okay, Pete? Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Again, I think
doing all right there, Jerry.
I'm going to be okay. I think we know who's doing those now. We have a suspicion at least, yeah, it makes me wonder. Okay, what are the right questions? And really, the real question about those right questions is: should Zephyr Tail be the one asking them? It's the thing you want to know. But with that said, we have one last match, a match that we learned about earlier in the evening from Mr. Lawson, and that is a triple threat, a good old-fashioned three-way dance between Jagger Blackthorn, El Pollo de la Muerte, and Death himself, Helixux. And this was a match they earned the right to have last week after defeating the team of Nero Napier, Scott E. Stevens, and Earl King Wes. And first off, you have El Pollo deciding, you know what, I'm going to let the big guys have at it first. Perhaps a good strategic move. These three certainly represent the top performers currently on Flashbang. So they being the three to take on this opportunity. Originally, the belief was this match would determine who would actually be the number one contender for Nero's belt until Nero threw out a curveball by saying he actually wants to have an 8-man showcase match. And that has led this match to being a qualifier for that 8-man showcase. And I wonder how these three feel, because they thought they were competing initially for a direct shot at Nero, and now they're finding out they're just competing for a chance to get in the ring with him and 6 other competitors. Also, got a tweet out from it's not really a name, it's that wolf head symbol we saw, and it just says there's so much time. All right. Anyway, back to the match. El Pollo poised to deliver I assume the chicken wing on Jagger Blackthorn. Jagger, of course, had that move well scoped. Got El Pollo in the corner, was working him over when he got hit from behind by Helix Sucks. Helix, of course, then took advantage, stacked up El Pollo and Jagger, and covered them both for the pin. This is the first time we've seen Helix do a stack up, but I think that's the first time we've had a stack up pin.
I believe so.
And thus does Death himself earn the shot. I guess I'm assuming that from what the lawyer has said, that it's he has earned his spot in that 8-man showcase match to go after Nero's belt. And now we'll have to learn in the coming weeks who else is going to have that shot. Oh, hang on a second. Hello?
Yes, hello, Jerry. This is Mr. Lawson.
Oh, Mr. Lawson. Oh, well, there you are.
I heard you were a little bit confused, and I thought I would give you a firing line exclusive into what I've decided ahead of tomorrow's show.
Excellent, wonderful. We love to hear it.
I couldn't help but hear you say that they initially thought they were competing for a one-on-one match. Well, I have spoken with the brass, and they have approved the 8-man showcase match for the World Heavyweight Championship, except that match will be the main event of Multivania.
All right.
That being said, Helix Sucks, I feel, after that performance, deserves a one-on-one opportunity, and he will get that. So Helix will go one-on-one with Nero Napier, and the winner of that match will defend their title in the main event of Multivania in an 8-man showcase match. Oh, I love the sound of it.
Oh, that sounds like... When is Helix Sucks getting his shot at Nero Napier?
2 weeks' time.
Ah, all right. Well, that definitely clears up the matter. That's very concise. We know exactly what we're looking at now.
Best of luck to the competitors.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawson. Anything else you want to add about the contenderships for that 8-man showcase?
I'm simply surprised by the, lack of ambition. But don't worry. We have contingency plans. Enjoy your evening, gentlemen.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Lawson. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lawson, the representative of the brass. Well, there we've got our answer, Pete.
Yep.
2 weeks' time, Helix Sucks will face Nero Napier for the World Heavyweight Championship. Whoever wins that match will go on to the 8-man showcase match that will headline Multivania. The only thing we right now know for sure about that showcase match is that Nero Napier will be in that match either as the defending champion or looking to regain his championship. And oh, hang on a second. I'm getting the phone is lighting up there. Pete, let's pick up the phone. Hello, you're on Firing Line. Caller, do we have you on the phone?
Why, yes. Hello, gentlemen. I'm sorry. I had a little bit of a connection issue at the beginning there. How are y'all?
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Queen of Apex, Mizuki Napier. Mizuki, welcome to the show.
It's always a pleasure to be here with y'all. Wonderful gentlemen.
Thank you. Mizuki, what is it you have for the Firing Line audience tonight?
Just know, Jack, that I know what you're doing. It will not intimidate me or my boys. And we have a plan to do with you. Other than that, I have a plan for Helix.
All right. Well, there we are. Anything else you want to add before we move on with the evening there, Mizuki?
Yes. I do have one more thing. Know your place. Everyone should know your place. Speak of him and he shall appear. Hello, Jack.
Okay. I mean, hello. Hello. Are you there?
Time's running out, Mizuki. I'm coming for you.
Good to know.
I'm coming for Apex. I am going to take everything from Nero.
Who said everything that he has is his?
I think we lost him. Yep. Okay. That happened. All right. Well, Mizuki, anything in a summation?
Like I said, I know what he's doing, and I will not be intimidated.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Mizuki Napier, and I assume Jack Andrews. I'm making no declarations on this at this point. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later, Mizuki.
Always a pleasure. Y'all have fun now.
And with that, we come to the Flashbang moment of the week. But as always, first, ladies and gentlemen, a word from our sponsor.
It's morning in Multiverse, and rest of day looms, looking to break the weary like monster breaking human twig in a wrestling ring. But there is remedy. Squash Roast Coffee, made from finest naturally grown beans for best wake-up energy. That's because every bean have 10 beans within. That'll be 10 times more big energy than competing brand. More than enough big Squash energy to power through day. Squash Roast Coffee, it's big cup of good stuff. Now available in decaf, or when there is need to come down from blood rage.
Oh, and a reversal by Jagger. Right hand into the corner. And up. Oh, and now a shot to El Pollo and Jagger both. And now Snake Eyes to El Pollo, and they just stacked him up. A double stack. A double stack, and he got him. Helix just pinned both of them. He just stacked them up.
Holy! He just body moved them. You see that shit?
Here is your winner, Helix Sucks.
Oh my God.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, your Flashbang moment of the week. And with the wrap up of our Flashbang coverage, it's that time. Hang on, Pete. Hang on. Hold on. Joe, are you in there?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, it's time, Joe.
Oh, hang on. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Mojo, our intrepid reporter and host of the Callout. As always, we just have to do a quick. Is everything set? Are we good to go?
Oh hell yeah, dude.
Okay, great. And everything's going okay in the production den.
Everything's going great. I mean, I think since it's getting warmer out there, Brad's kind of feeling a little, he's feeling a little hot under the collar because fur, but he's okay.
It's May, and we know what happens after the 1st of May.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he is a wolf, so.
It's been 2 years, but we're still adjusting.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand these things can be. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, we have Joe is ready. So if you're ready, ladies and gentlemen, the call out with Joe Mojo.
Thank you, Firing Line, and welcome back to the call out. My name is Joe. My next guest is a bit of a tricky one. The brass have advised me to mention this because the subject of this next guest's religion will be at the forefront of this interview and be mentioned a lot. So please keep this in mind. For my next guest, he is a newcomer to Friday Night Flashbang. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lionel Matrix.
Wake up your mind.
Lionel, thank you for joining us.
It's great to be here. I was a bit weary of it at first, but Nortia reassured me that this was an excellent opportunity to spread her word, and in that I must agree.
Before we begin, we did give a notice in the beginning of the interview about your passion for your religion, so I have to make a mention of that one. By the way, I'm fine where I am at spiritually, so please, none of that. But as one of Flashbang's newest members, we don't really know a lot about you. So what can you tell us about yourself for those who do not know?
Well, my story before meeting Nortia isn't too important, except for maybe 1 or 2 events that lead to that moment. Most wrestling ventures on the universe I come from tend to go the more extreme route. And considering my size, I had to learn how to use the environment to my advantage, especially tables and chairs. I did not like that lifestyle, so as soon as I discovered how to travel the multiverse, I left everything and came here.
You mentioned previous promotions went to extremes, like, did they mistreat you at all?
Oh no, I'm talking real extreme. Crimes were committed in the middle of the ring. People got crippled, and careers were ended. I hated seeing that, but no one seemed to want to change it.
Ah, I see. I mean, I will admit we do have those kinds of events here, but thankfully those are very few and far between. So, was it during these times that you found your goddess?
Well, due to other circumstances, I found myself jobless and down on my luck. I was desperate for answers, and as if my wish had been granted, I tripped, literally tripped, on an old history book. I started reading it, and found out about a goddess who could fix my situation, and grant me the happiness I was looking for. After following some of the steps in the book, I started seeing a lot of changes in my life. One of those being the opening to the multiverse.
So, what all did you have to do?
Do you have time for 3 more callouts?
No more multi-part episodes anytime soon. So, we will move on from that. We have a few people who can speak to their deities. Does this Nortia speak to you?
Not at first, no. For some odd reason, one of the first things that happened to me when I entered the Nexus was hearing Lady Nortia's commands for the first time. I'll be honest, it was scary at first, but I got used to it. Her first command: join Flashbang's Performance Center. The rest is history.
Have you been told as to why MNW?
All I've been told is that there are certain things in the multiverse that need, fixing. And, as someone once said, we can't expect God to do all the work. So far, commands have been specific things that the lady understandably cannot take part in, such as helping Brawl Kaiser stay on the roster, or help Henry Colt with his situation.
At Breakdown 6, you were the surprise entrant in Brawl Kaiser's Get Off the Schneid match, where you and Brawl were the last two remaining. What was it like debuting with such high stakes?
To people like Brawl, it may have been a match with high stakes, but to me, it wasn't. I don't enjoy hurting people like I did Kyo and Denki, but when done righteously, it's a chore like any other, and there are a lot of chores to be done.
Now a part of the Flashbang roster, if you don't mind me asking, what are some of these plans or chores, you've called them, your goddess Nortia has asked you to do?
Of course you'd like to know. Lady Nortia gives me her commands one by one, so as to not jeopardize the whole picture. I'm curious myself as to where this is all going, but I started to sense a pattern regarding that. Good luck trying to get me to speak about her plans, though. I wouldn't tell you even if I knew.
Let me guess. If I want to see what her plans are, I'd have to join your religion.
Like I said, not even I know what the full picture looks like, but don't lose sleep over it. I'm sure we will all know sooner or later. Oh, and just to be clear, all of our members have willingly joined our group through situations similar to mine, and have helped each other improve ourselves. I don't understand why everyone and their mother keeps blabbering on about cults and whatnot. I personally find it offensive.
If I'm being fair, someone who comes in with a goddess no one's ever heard of, as well as a charismatic leader at the helm, it looks like some very similar situations that we've had in the past.
Well, that sounds like you problem, not a Nortia problem. Altita Prinza Amarista.
See, that's where you and I will have to agree there, Lionel. I don't really like yellow journalism either. I prefer to report the facts. I speak like 5 languages, by the way, and Spanish is the most common one I use.
Well, smart guy, you are free to come by any time, and you'll see why Henry Colt was so eager to join our cause. The same goes to everyone else in the locker room. You are all free to stop by. Or don't. I'm sure Nortia even has plans for those who don't care about us.
We are running out of time, but with all this being said and done, as we are winding down here, is there anything that you would like to tell the Firing Line audience?
Like many people before me have said, something big seems to be brewing in the multiverse. I believe that is the reason I was called here. However, I don't know what stance Nortia wants to take in whatever that is. I just want to say that whenever that happens, I will be ready to represent the lady's name and uphold her values. Buenas noches, Multiverse.
I would like to thank my guests for joining us, and if you would like to see Lionel in action, please tune in to twitch.tv/EverettBosco for Friday Night Flashbang, Fridays at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. This has been Joe, signing out.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The call out with Joe Mojo featuring Lionel Matrix. So, Joe, anything else you want to let us know going on of late?
2 things. I'll leave the more important one second. My schedule's open, so if you would like your character to be showcased on the call out for next week's show, please do not be afraid to send me a DM. They are open for those kinds of requests. And second, next week I have an announcement to make. I just need to get confirmation over this weekend.
Really? All right. Well,
it's about the thing, Caliban.
Oh, are we talking above game now?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. I thought we were still in character, so I was like, oh, all right.
Oh, my bad. I should have said something. No, this is all.
Or do you mean the thing?
The thing. No, I know the thing. I know the thing. All right. No, I understand why you're waiting on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that needs to be. We need to get a confirmation on that ASAP because they're still not calling us back.
Okay. The thing, and then the other thing, and then the.
But yeah, above game, I do not have anybody planned for this next week. So please, if you would like your character to be showcased, do not be afraid. Do not hesitate. Even if you're like, oh man, I don't know about a voice. We'll figure something out. Trust me.
By the way, since we're above game, let's go ahead and credit because I was asking about the voice actor.
Oh, right. So I should admit, we definitely need to make mention of this. Matrix has posted a lot of times when they have posted a promo. The voice of Lionel Matrix is none other than JC Doodles. Shill him. Shill that fucking gremlin.
Have you ever seen a picture of JC?
Have you ever spoken with JC?
I never know. I haven't ever spoken directly, but
he's very chaotic at times, and frankly, it's a good kind of chaotic.
I'm friends with Burnout Vaughn, so you know
I have a bunch of memes on another server that I need to download and to show you about how the level of gremlinness that JC can do, and it's awesome.
Fair enough. All right, but we should get back into game now.
Yeah.
In game. So thank you very much, Joe Mojo, and we look forward to the next call out, and give Brad our best. And is he still looking for new squeaky toys?
He's settled on the pig for now, but you've seen that jaw, right? He's gonna rip through that in like a week.
Right. Okay. All right. I'll see what I can find. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Mojo, thank you very much, sir.
See ya.
And with that, it's time to move on to our coverage of MNW Warzone. And this week, I mean, a lot happened. Last week, of course, ended on a shocking note with the unexpected return of Vinsmoke Sanji. And, of course, that had everyone wondering, especially with his in-ring confrontation at that very last moment with Burnout Vaughn. But we will revisit that shortly. But first, let's head on to the first match of the evening, which featured a match of this yet unnamed superstar and Buck Bumble teaming with Felix Big Rig to take on the now trio Chained Hell. As many people have recently learned, Chained Hell has taken on a third member, the former Turkish delight, Constantinople.
And for whatever reason, Hightower has decided to put Constantinople in his old mask.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a rite of passage or a necessity. We don't know what his, let's call it training regiment. We don't know what his training regiment was with Chained Hell. All we know is he's now part of the team. And we forgot, but this was an elimination match. And the first out was, and it didn't last long. First you had the superstar, then Felix Big Rig, and then finally Buck Bumble. A clean sweep by Chained Hell.
Yes, this was colloquially known as AI massacre match.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if this is part of the said training for Constantinople, and this was just what the Flame Revenant and Hightower thought would make for fun training.
Well, I mean, you've got one guy, another. Let's face it. I'm beginning to get the feel that we are having our own version of the Young Lions in MNW,
perhaps.
And on Flashbang, That's represented by, right now, 2 wrestlers that I would call the Young Lions, that being Cool J Kyo and Gitsuhiro. And then on Warzone, you have the likes of the Superstar, and then there was another individual who looks a lot like, who has a very similar aesthetic to his that we don't know a lot about. So yeah, you've got people looking to earn their stripes, as it were.
Yep.
So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next match. And that features an interesting matchup. Flyboy Bell in a rare singles match, coming down to take on Ginger Boy. Sasquatch Wing is telling me it's Delinquent Son. Sure. I don't think that's so much a name as a designation right now, Squatch, but we'll see. By the way, Squatch, thanks for the coffee. I had a cup this morning, or it might have been yesterday morning. I'm not sure. The days are kind of bleeding together.
They do that.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, Ginger Boy getting I want to say that I'm always trying to remember which is the Mad Lad Lock and which is the London Dungeon. I think the London Dungeon is from the front, and the Mad Lad Lock is from behind.
Okay.
But either way, it's you've got Ginger Boy, the submission specialist and the MMA specialist, taking on the high flying lucha skills of Flyboy Bell. Well on display right there at that moment. And yeah, this is a, you have the former tag champion Flyboy and the former Flashbang World Heavyweight Champion Ginger Boy. And then after the Mad Lad Roundhouse, you get a oddity for Ginger Boy, just a straight up pinfall.
Yep.
But yeah, victory goes to the Mad Lad of London, and looking to move himself up on the Warzone roster after having reached the pinnacle on Flashbang. Do you get a sense from Ginger Boy of a slight sense of dissatisfaction, though?
Well, sure. I mean, as you said, he's coming from being champion, so I'm guessing that he's not satisfied where he's at right now.
That's true, and so I guess we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, speaking of lack of satisfaction, there's one wrestler who I think just epitomizes the idea of lack of satisfaction. And I'll tell you that with this much. It's not Mr. Enigma. No, Mr. Enigma comes out to face Wilson, the son of Will. Which, we make fun of Wilson here a lot. And yeah, it's easy to pick on him and his what he passes for a personality. On the other hand, you can't doubt his skills as a wrestler. He has... I will give him the begrudging respect of saying I feel he has, in fact, earned the nickname of Work Rate Wilson. Yeah, he has worked hard. I mean, not always clean, but he's worked hard. And he has, at this point, he has held gold twice. He has been the Big Oof champion. And he has been 1/3 of the Trios champions. So that is, that's an impressive record. I mean, there's a lot of wrestlers in MNW that have never tasted gold at all, much less having held 2 championships.
Very true. Very true.
So it's just it had to be Wilson.
Yeah,
but in this case, Then you have Wilson. That was, I want to give him that. That was I think a unique roll up. I've seen him use that one before. It always looks a little odd, but I think
clearly it was unexpected.
Yeah,
and caught Enigma off guard.
It did, but in the end, it can look odd, it can be unexpected, but if it gets the job done, and no one can say that wasn't a clean win. I mean, it was a straight up match. I didn't see any nut shots that time. I don't think we saw any brass knucks. It was just Wilson, and that's that. And oh, hang on, the phone's lighting up. Hello, you're on Firing Line.
Yeah, hello there. It's Work Rate Wilson here.
Oh, Wilson, yes, we were just talking about you.
Of course you were. So, I just want to make this statement here. I put on a 5-star match there, and not one of the people applauded that. How dare they, Petey? How dare they, Aldini, or whatever? Just, it was an insult.
I mean, I thought the crowd was, I saw cheering and applaud. I mean, there were the normal, you've got to be used to the asshole chants by now.
Yeah, but they're lower peons. I don't care about them, but they didn't send me any type of reward for winning that match in such a fabulous way. I buried Mr. Enigma so far into the ground, they're going to need an excavator when they're done shoveling him out.
All right. What kind of reward were you looking for?
Oh, just more money to put on top of my money pile. Maybe more fan blogging about how great I am, which I am. But you know what? I think you know what I would like as a reward, or at least for all my hard work that I've been putting to this stain of a show that I am on. I would love another chance at a title. That's what I want. Work Rate Wilson wants to work for the title always.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going to, at the risk of putting us all in mortal danger, I'm going to take this opportunity. Were you listening to the earlier part of the show, Wilson?
Why would I listen to the earlier part? What are you talking about?
Because earlier in the evening, we had Mad Jack on, and with Future Shock coming up for the Warzone roster, he put forth that he's wondering if anyone from Warzone would step up to perhaps offer a challenge for Doom for their Trios Championships.
So you're telling me that pumpkin reject Mad Jack and his trio of clown carnival haunted knockoff Bubkiss is offering another title, is offering another chance at the Trios title, and anybody from Warzone can join? Hold on a second. Alba! We need to go there! Get your record scratches! We have to go. Goodbye, everybody, and remember, Work Rate Wilson is the best, and you all are beneath me. Mwah! Bye!
Well, that got rid of him.
Yeah, but you do realize what you've put into his mind, don't you?
I do, and I know who he's going to face. I'm surprisingly comfortable with my decision.
Fair enough.
So, also tweeting out on social media from Kath Gina, I would still rather kiss Redacted and marry him than speak well of Wilson. And he grabbed the tights, Jerry. I mean, yeah, he did. I mean, I'm not going to get into it right now. You know what? Let's move on. That happened. We're going to get on. There's better things to cover. For example, there was a tag team ladder match. My understanding is they're trying. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pete. They're trying to figure out who is going to be the next contender to take on Chained Hell for the tag team title?
I believe so.
Well, then this match featured The Beef and his teammate Suplex Sam representing VIP Then High Voltage, Aiden Zero, and Wonderball. The Eastern Block Party, Lawson and Nice Ice, and then finally Malice and R. Sawyer of MainEventNext.exe. These four teams in a ladder match to earn a shot. I think this is to earn the shot at a shot for the tag championships. I think. Who knows anymore?
Yeah. It's there will be two ladder matches. There are two ladder matches this night, and this first one, as well as the second one, I believe, are for the two contenders, two tag team contenders to go against Chain Hell, I believe.
Yeah, and a lot of interesting work here. You've got Aiden Zero, former Nexus Titan champion, who just threw former Big Oof champion Nice Ice off the ladder, only to have that ladder knocked out from under him by Lawson, and then pulled off the briefcase by the Beef. That was a real team effort there. And then Aiden was just determined to get that briefcase. I think Aiden would really like to see High Voltage get another shot at gold. Meanwhile, R. Sawyer was having none of VIP. And then, as this continues on, you have Suplex Sam with a ladder just hitting everyone. And then the Beef, very casually ascending the ladder. You know, probably very sore after that match, and meeting straight on with just pure malice. But the Beef, you know, looks like somebody who might have a shot against Malice. I mean, not a small man.
Well, they are both very thick boys.
They are. And Lawson having being about done with Malice. And when it looked like Lawson was then going to pull off the Beef, his partner Suplex Sam with the distraction, and thus VIP with a potential shot at the tag team championship, which, you know, what I did with Wilson, that might be a distraction. You know, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Either way, coming out of this match, it's VIP with the win. And
this was a very, very impressive match, folks. If you have the chance, we could not do that match justice. If you'll go check it out, it's a very, very good match.
Yeah, and it is currently available at the MNW YouTube channel. Go ahead and find that match, and you can check it out. Meantime, this next match, so this is a case where we learned a lot about this match and its participants actually well after the fact. In fact, only in the last couple of days have we learned really more about them. So this match, well, first and foremost, you have this man listed as the Unknown Soldier meeting up with his teammates Unga Bunga and Maximilian Thunderthighs, taking on the Absolute Units. Now, we have since learned the man listed as the Unknown Soldier here in the ring is in fact actually named Sergeant Major Payne. And from what I understand, his rank is
Sergeant Major Payne.
Sergeant Major Payne. From what I understand, he's a sergeant, and his first name is Major, which must make his military career very confusing. And Unga Bunga and Maximilian Thunderthighs, apparently they have now come up with a official tag name. They are, I guess, registered as an official tag team under the name Thunda Bunga. Or Thunda Unga. So, yeah, that's what we have here. And then, of course, they are taking on the team of the Absolute Units, TJ the Mint Gable, Forrest the Fortress Wade, and their leader, Absolute Washington.
A very impressive tag team move right there.
Yeah. At this point, the Absolute Units are a well-oiled machine, have worked together for a long time. Washington and Wade have been able to hold the tag belts at this point officially twice. And here they face, but it's a very interesting individual, this Unga Bunga. From what we understand, he is in fact a caveman. This leads us to, is it a question of time travel? Was he frozen? Hard to say. Either way, getting locked up in that submission hold from the Fortress, and the Absolute Units, the seasoned, well-oiled team, come out with the victory. And with that, makes you wonder what's next for the units.
Well, and I mean, they were already doing quite well for themselves, but it's been fascinating that ever since TJ Gable came back, their momentum has just picked up.
Yeah, he's there's been a fire lit under them, and he and the rest of the team are ready to go. Well, now, before we get into our next match, and trust me, there is a lot going on with this match. So much so that, ladies and gentlemen, leading into it, it's time for the Warzone audio promo of the week.
Everything is falling into place for my next project. I have finally recovered my long-lost fortune, and the money in the bank is mine. Before my plan may continue, however, there is something I must attend to. Those damn Sentinels will no doubt have their eyes on me, and I want to use this chance for some payback. Daverman, I haven't forgotten your petty theft of my hat and your releasing of that vile abomination, one which the Republic took the blame for, by the way. Everyone views you as a hero, but if not for your childish actions, we'd not have to have dealt with the hats in the first place. I will have my revenge, and you will face the full wrath of Sir Uncle Managed Bandits!
Hold it right there, old man.
What in the...
I'm Sparrow of the Sentinels, and I'm here to turn you in for...
Wait! Stop! Where's Daverman?
What?
I wanted him to bust through my window and challenge me, not you!
Oh. He wanted to see if I could stop a big bad by myself, so he let me handle this.
Great. Now I'm stuck grappling some 20-year-old who wears spandex.
What does that say about you? You're a 90-year-old millionaire who steals candy from kids.
How old did you say I was?
Your days of petty theft are numbered, Uncle. You were a good man once, but now you're nothing more than a petty crook. And the Sentinels are always there for those in need.
Oh, really? If that's the case, where were you when the Republic lost everything fighting the Empire?
That was your own decision.
You know, on second thought, having Daverman watch as his protege is beaten to a bloody pulp is satisfying in its own way. Very well, boy, I accept your challenge.
You're on.
Stop breaking my windows!
And with that, we go to the ring where Sparrow, accompanied by Daverman, faces Mr. Old Money in the Bank, Uncle Dunk, facing who is joined, of course, by Mr. Butler. And yeah, Uncle has certainly had a new energy. If tempered by his deciding that morals were no longer something he had to concern himself with. But with that,
you all right there? I was worried you might have hurt yourself stretching for that one.
Yeah, I was trying to find words, and it just was. Yeah, never mind. It's it's just a shame.
He's been a jerk.
Yeah, I remember the days when Uncle Dunk was a fine, upstanding individual who who would have proudly stood with the Sentinels against the forces of darkness. Now he is the forces of darkness. I mean, let's face it, he is the dark side of Mr. Monopoly.
Yep.
Or I suppose that is rich Uncle Moneybags. So again, though, some impressive high-flying work by the Sparrow. A skilled and agile fighter. The protege and sidekick of Daverman. One of the 8 Battleground winners, member of that Grand Battleground tournament. And now he's facing a man who is quickly becoming one of the arch villains of the multiverse. Unfortunately for this, it's he taps out to Uncle Dunk. It's kind of like the part 1 of those 2-part Batman episodes when the villain has to win.
Yep. That was the money clip, I believe.
I believe it was the money clip. Yes.
Dangerous move, that money clip.
It is, and then this. This is the other part. And
let it be known that Daverman made it very clear he would not get involved in this match. But unfortunately, after this happened, and as you see, as Unkley continued his recent tradition, and at this point, Daverman couldn't stay out of it, and he had to come in there, and as you see here, chaos broke out.
Yeah, although to be fair, Daverman stayed out of the match.
He did. he stood true to his word, but.
Yeah. But after the match, when Uncle Dunk was still being just disrespectful and underhanded, you can't expect a superhero to just stand aside and let that happen, especially to his sidekick.
Absolutely.
Well, with that said, so last week, as we said at the opening of the Warzone segment, the multiverse was shocked by the return of former multiverse heavyweight champion Vinsmoke Sanji and his surprise confrontation at the very end. Well, more of a surprise stare down with the current champion Burnout Vaughn. So this leads us to next, the first match Vinsmoke has had since that surprise return last week. And his opponent, Juan Chance. The young Lucha coming out. Vinsmoke still wearing the orange tights that he wore when under the influence of the hat. Obviously, people can see a lot of changes in his appearance. His hair color has gone to orange. And he definitely still has a lot of the brutality he had when under the hat's influence. But it's and then this to come up against one of the rookies on the roster. I suppose this is a chance to show no ring rust on me during whatever recovery time he's needed since he got relieved of that eldritch horror that sat on his head.
Well, I mean, it's clear that he's in ring condition, but the question now is where does he stand in the ranks of the locker room now?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, yes, he was a champion, but then he's been out for quite some time. And, when you've been gone for a while, I personally don't think it's, you come back in and it's clear he wants to challenge Burnout Vaughn for the belt. And there you have Vinsmoke winning his match against Juan Jobber. And then this happened. He is confronted by Probanaga. Now, if you remember that match where the hat was ripped from his head, part of that happened with a surprise appearance. Well, his loss of his title when he was facing Justice Jake. Let's take it back. It was a Multivania match against Nice Ice that he won. But Justice Jake, who had won the Money in the Bank earlier in the evening, cashed it in. And just when it looked like Hat Smoke would defeat Jake as well, Daverman came out, distracting him long enough for a sneak attack from Probanaga. So many twists and turns. Oh, but I see, we've got an incoming call, Pete. Hang on, let me get the phone. Maybe we can get some more answers. Ladies and gentlemen, if what I have is correct from Phyllis, we have on the phone Vinsmoke Sanji.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Greetings, Vinsmoke. So, you know what, Vinsmoke, I'm just going to ask the most straightforward question. Where's your head at right now?
My head is right where it belongs and right where it should be. Everyone in MNW disgusts me. They saw what happened to me, yet they did not care. Now, I only have one target, and that is the MNW World Heavyweight Championship. I'll go through anybody to do it.
All right. But, I mean, after being gone so long, I mean, that's I mean, are you sure you're in the position to make that challenge?
I was the longest reigning MNW World Heavyweight Champion. And because of Probunaga and Wonder Bread Daberman, they took that away from me. I now start a quest by finishing what I started and getting back what I held dear in this world.
All right. Well, I mean, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We know what Vinsmoke Sanjay is his goals are. Do you have anything else you want to add before we move on with the show?
Just to let the whole NW locker room know, you are all targets. Everybody who's ever wronged for me, I'm coming for you. And nothing is gonna stop me. Hell is following me. I will have my revenge.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Vinsmoke Sanji targeting the heavyweight championship of Burnout Vaughn. Thank you very much, Vinsmoke.
You'll have a nice evening.
And you know, Pete, with the night we've had, that is not the creepiest thing that's happened on the show tonight. Nope. No. Oh, and right now though on social media, from R. Sawyer,
Bleep,
I think there's a lot of beeps
Lawson.
in this. Yeah, it looks like Lawson.
Bleep need to be bleeped right up there. Bleep with bleep. Bratwursts.
Okay. Here's the thing I wonder with Arso. Do you think that was the social media app censoring him, or do you think he's got like an internal censor?
I don't know.
I mean, with most people that wouldn't be a question, but when you're a mech, these are the things you got to think about. We got a tweet from Maximilian Thunderthighs going, "I'm a target, Vinsmoke. Then aim well, because if you try and jump the line again, the damage will be max." All right, so there we have it. We've from Maximilian Thunderthighs, and now one half of Thunda Unga. I'm assuming that's an official tag team. I mean, I saw paperwork.
Thundabunga, maybe?
Thunderbunga? Is it Thunderbunga? It could be Thunderbunga. I don't know. That the copy I saw has smudge.
Is it that Squatch Rose coffee?
Look, it's really good. I mean, I don't know what day it is, but you know, Phyllis brought me to the booth and said it's time to do the show, so here I am. But it's really good. Yeah. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, the show. Hey, the next match. And this match is a tag team match featuring the team of Raphael Sampson and Sasquatch Wing, the All Odds, facing off against McMorgan and Fierce Strikes. Now, the reason for this is, of course, Raphael Sampson has won the right to challenge Fierce Strikes for the Nexus Titan Championship. So we're having a bit of a warm-up match to that, featuring Raphael and his partner, the Battleground champion Sasquatch Wing, and Fierce Strikes, who chose as his partner the crazed Scotsman McMorgan. Which, you know,
interesting pairing.
It is an interesting pairing. I'm assuming, you know, if McMorgan's known for anything, it's his ability to take a lot of punishment and keep coming.
True.
And, you know, that's something important if you're going up against the All Odds. I mean, All Odd, they coming. And, you know, I can tell you after having a bit of squash roast and how juiced that got me. And we know for a fact that Squatch has like 16 of those before every match.
Yep.
And then after the match, apparently he drinks a bunch of the decaf for reasons.
Right, to fight the blood rage.
Fight the blood rage, yeah. So, you know. You should try some, Pete. It's good stuff.
Good. Trying to kick caffeine.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, McMorgan, let's face it, how many people can just pick up Raphael Sampson? I mean, that's... Yeah, you look at the man, it's insane. He is a man of biblical proportions.
Quite.
And then, you know, Squatch, you know, it is said he is the last Squatch, as we heard in that wonderful interview he had with Joe Mojo a week or so back on the Callout. And this move, I mean, you know what? Yeah, I understand Fierce Strikes is a powerful entity, but when you have two people the size of the All Odds landing on you, I would just want to lay there too.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, you want to let him pin me.
Get it over with.
Yeah, I think if anything, Fierce Strikes, like, at least for the belt, I only have to face Raphael by himself.
Yep.
Which makes me wonder. I think I know they're right now going for singles gold, and they're having great luck with their singles work, but they are still a beloved tag team, and I still want to see the All Odds have a crack at the championship, the tag championship. But
right.
In the meantime, I'll take what we're getting. And with that, our next match is a title match. Last week, there was a multi-man match to determine who would be the number one contender for Mega Blitz X and the Big Oof Championship. And the winner was an unexpected underdog. That, of course, being newcomer Carcharodon, who was a late entrance in the match. No one expected to win because he's new to the roster. And yet, to the shock of everyone, Carcharodon won that match and won the right to face Rider X for the Big Oof. Now, I've been trying to get some information on Carcharodon, and as best as I can learn, and I don't have full details yet, but based on the name Carcharodon, That is apparently some species of shark. And with the look of his ring gear and about him, that skeleton is supposedly representing a shark skeleton.
I see.
So that's as much as I've been able to gain information on him. Maybe we'll get lucky and Joe Mojo can track him down for a call out. We can get some more information. But, I mean, let's be honest. When you're a newcomer to the roster, you've just made it to the big leagues. And to this early in your career, have a title shot. I mean, that's a hell of a thing. On the other hand, this is Mega Blitz X. The Henshin hero of Warzone. Big Oof champion. Member of Omega Club. And, I think it surprises no one that he'd win. And then Carcharodon himself realizing, hey, this was a great opportunity for a young guy like me, only to low blow Mega Blitz.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for a young guy like me to kick somebody in the balls.
Kick a veteran in the nuts. Yeah. So apparently somebody went to the Wilson Son of Will Charm School.
Yep.
Yeah. Although R. Sawyer is saying, ha ha ha, Zacho special. So, yeah, I say Wilson Son of Will, but that's true. I mean, it really was more of a Zacho move. I don't know. Hey, you know what I do know? Earlier in the evening, there had been a ladder match to win a shot to compete for an opportunity to face Chained Hell for the Tag Team Championship.
Mm.
And there was a second one that we're going to look at right now. First off, we see Whitney Lee representing Omega Club. We have Legion. You've got the Toxic Wastelanders.
And the Outlaws were already in ring.
And the Outlaws were already in ring. The Outlaws came out during the commercial break. And apparently in a, screw you, you don't deserve to see our entrance tonight attitude.
Yep.
We got business to do. After everything, I mean, with CGR Killer having recently been noted as the person who stole the mask from La Luna El Chavo, father of DeLuna 13, the man who ran over the Punk Master Ghost, and we still don't know who hired him to do these things, but we know he did it. Then, of course, you've got the Wastelanders, who've recently teamed with Burnout Vaughn to form the faction known as the Roughnecks. And then you have the main man, the Atomic Adonis, Big Papa Plutonium, just sitting there staring at Theron Eldrazi, basically just waiting for his partner so they could do a double team to take down Theron. And then, of course,
and I think they thought that they could use Theron to get some progress on the briefcase. And you see here Gorewheel trying to make more progress, but unable to.
You got to remember, these are, it's you look at them and it's hard to remember. I mean, the Wastelanders are clever guys. I mean, Gorewheel's a lawyer, for God's sake. This is a man who has to think about strategy and things like that. But he also likes a good crumpin'. And then, you've got Whitney Lee going in. And Theron, once again, like, no, my briefcase. I want it. And who's down there waiting for him again? Big Papa Plutonium. Who decided
you see there, you had CGR Killer making a very strategic move and getting Power Surge away from the ladder.
Yeah, and that leads to...
Or, excuse me, Whitney.
But that does lead to Theron actually getting that briefcase. So the Outlaws come out, they're all business, and that clearly just worked for them, and they are now going to have a shot against, I guess, the winners from the first match. So, I guess we know who's going to be facing off next week, maybe. I don't know. Have we got a card?
So, that VIP who won the first match.
Right.
So we have VIP and the Outlaws, and
I was trying to block that.
Chained Hell.
Is it going to be a triple threat?
I don't know. I mean,
Un momento, por favor.
Yep. No. Tomorrow, or excuse me, Saturday, we are going to have the Outlaws versus VIP for Tag Team Championship #1 contendership.
Okay, so it is going to be okay. That makes sense. So it perfectly tracks from what was said on this. Okay, that's fine. You know, it's good to have it's good to be clear about these things. Meanwhile, the next match, this match. Okay, this is. Let's not mince words. This is nothing but a grudge match. And by that I mean the Conquest Bloodline being led by Sam Jax coming down to take on Nakama Worldwide. And, you know, Depth Charge, Trashman Jones, Bart Ender, and Power Surge. And I look at this and I still wonder. Although, you know what? It's interesting seeing Gorm and Depth Charge go at it, because you get a real sense of just how big Depth Charge is when he's face to face with the Goliath.
Well, and especially because as you use that phrase, he's almost face to face with Gorm.
Yeah, I mean he's a big boy. And then you've got also size appropriate Power Surge facing off against the stand of Princess Boots, Feel Good Inc., and getting the elimination. And then you've got Gorm and Carnival double teaming Depth Charge, who we still don't understand. We don't know if that tank is a necessity or just a fashion statement. We really don't know
why
much
it's
about
glowing blue.
Yeah, I mean, did they just put a blue light in there? Because I wouldn't put that past Trashman.
Or maybe it's just spray painted blue, and he's really good at seeing through that thing.
It could be. I mean, so many questions.
Many questions.
Many questions. And then, at this point, you basically have the members of Nakamura Wide trying to go through Conquest Bloodline, but you can never discount Gorm. Then you have.
But then we started seeing Bart enter in this match, and he was changing the dynamic very much.
Right. Yeah.
To the point.
Yeah.
The Great Gorm is eliminated.
Yeah. And at this point, you understand why Trashman Jones was so adamant about ensuring that Bart Ender became a member of Nakama Worldwide. I mean, he did scout out that one thing Nakama Worldwide was going to need if they were going to be a viable faction was some talent. I mean, Power Surge is young; he's got a lot to learn. Depth Charge, we don't know, and Trashman Jones is
question mark.
Yeah, Trashman Jones is Trashman Jones.
Yeah.
Which by the way, earlier the evening we pointed out to, Mad Jack that he's not the reason we locked the door, because we know he can get in anyway. No, it's Nakama Worldwide. We've received letters.
Yes.
Letters. Apparently Trashman Jones doesn't know the difference between a limerick and a haiku. That's all I'm going to say about it. Anyway, I'm seeing from Phyllis we've got a relevant phone call on the line after that match. Ladies and gentlemen, on the line with us now, I'm let's double check. The last time I thought if this is the representative or if it is Sam Jax himself, but it is. The phone number has been identified as Conquest Bloodlines. Hello, who do we have on the phone?
Yes, hi. Hello, this is Mr. Taylor Temple, our lawyer and advocate of one Mr. Simjax, and to the extension his faction for the most part.
Right. Okay. Excellent, sir. So I assuming you have some statement for us in regards to that match we just covered.
Well, first off, sir, Mr. Aldini, we do know the form. I put that in the chat area, but she is referred to her name as Lady Boots, as she is the frontlining Miss Lady of the Bloodline, to be certain. And one thing you pointed out, forgot, gentlemen, is that my client Simjax able to get some blood not only from Power Surge, but also one Trash My Jones through a series of headbutts.
Okay. Interesting. Sure. All right. And what is that leading us to?
Well, I mean, obviously, I saw him went over to his little abado that down underneath our headquarters, but he's been just calculating and laughing and trying to contain I'm assuming the essence, because that's how I believe the vampires are supposed to work.
I wouldn't know. I've never spent a lot of time with vampires. I wish I could say the same about werewolves, but that's another story.
Oh, that's a shame. But yes, he was a bit miffed, but at the same time, he seemed relaxed. He seemed glad that he was able to accomplish something within that match, even though his faction didn't necessarily won.
Right. Fair enough. Well, all right. So, anything else we have for the firing line audience, sir?
Oh goodness! I think that was him talking. Nothing else in the moment. Obviously, I heard that Golem is going to fight Depth Charge later on, but I'm going to check on my quiet and make sure he's well taken care of. Okay.
That sounds like a good idea. Yeah. No, we'll talk to you later. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay. That was. I don't know if I'm reassured or disturbed.
Yes.
Yeah. Both. Hey, both is good. Why not both? All right. Well, we have one last match to cover. It's a title match. As people who have been following all of the events across the multiverse know, after recent events at Breakdown 6, the Citric King has found himself as the interdimensional champion, having won that off of Earl King West and having brought that championship from Flashbang to Warzone. And since then, several people have been stepping up to challenge for that belt. Of course, you had his first defense invoking the belt's special duties as being the frontline defense against invaders from other universes, where he faced the Marauder. Then last week, he faced several opponents. This week, it's a singular opponent he has to face. But oh my, that opponent is the Doctor of Albinomics. And as we see the Citric King coming to the ring, my first question is, what kind of defender of the multiverse would the Doctor of Albinomics be?
A hip one.
I mean, you've always got to ask this question with the Interdimensional Championship, because it's part of and I don't think a lot of people think about that. All they go is shiny gold, not some beast from another universe could pop up. Mr. X from Resident Evil could suddenly show up and want to tear me apart because I hold this belt. No, they're just like, I want to take the gold off of Citric King.
Oddly enough, I've heard some people are into Mr. X.
I mean, I've heard that. We've seen, of course, seen King from Tekken. We had Master Chief once. And it just, I worry what happens when the Icon of Sin shows up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, these are questions. These are, I mean, do you remember the 64-man tournament? Jason Voorhees competed.
It's true.
So, yeah, I'm thinking you got to think about these things. In the meantime, the Doctor of Albinomics, I mean, putting on a good show, but Citric King's a veteran. I mean, yes, he's the most decorated tag team wrestler in MNW history. And more importantly, he is now managed to become our interdimensional champion. And Albatross, I mean, when there was an Albatross, he held gold, but the Doctor of Albinomics has never held gold, to my knowledge.
No.
And he certainly won't this time, because Citric King wins. Makes you wonder, does Albatross's wins actually count for the Doctor of Albinomics?
I'm glad I'm not in that department.
Yeah, that's a question. It's a question I want to know. I mean, I maybe don't really want to know. But, it's still a question. Either way, Citric King, I mean, I know a lot of people weren't happy about how he took it, but I think now that he has it on Warzone, I think people are, right now, considering who's gone up for it, I think they're content for the juicy one to hold on to that belt. Also, tweeting out on social media, it's Maximilian Thunderthighs again. Most people are just fighting Citric for the belt. I have a good reason to take a round with the Orange. He knows my reasons, and I'm going one way or another, get a match with the juicy one. So Maximilian Thunderthighs, he is looking for that. Yes,
wants a match with Citric, apparently.
I'm being corrected, and I'm being corrected by the right source. Current Trios champion Michael Macabre is reminding me that the Doctor of Albinomics is one of the people he took the belt off of.
Yes.
Almost makes me think that Michael is saying that he specifically has Doctor of Albinomics belt.
Maybe.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I could see Doom being very specific about whose belt they took.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
See that.
I can see that. I mean, I can see that mattering. Yeah. Anyway, with that said, so that, ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute, we're getting another, social media is blowing up. Just blowing up. We have Tiki the Troll tweeting out, I myself love how Citric took it, and no hard feelings from my buddy. I can appreciate a good trolling. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. All right. But it is now time for the Warzone moment of the week.
And now Nice Ice going up. He lands on the ladder too. What are you thinking, Nice Ice? Nice Ice! Oh my God!
And before we wrap up, there's another moment. In one of these moments we like to call MNW TF. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, that brings us to the end of another MNW Firing Line. So, as always, we remind you, ladies and gentlemen, tune in tomorrow night for Friday Night Flashbang and Sunday afternoon for MNW Warzone. And then join us back here next Thursday for another episode of MNW Firing Line, your guide to Multiverse Nexus Wrestling. For Pete McPherson, I'm Jerry Aldini. Ladies and gentlemen, good night. And now we're above game.
Scene.
And scene. Whew. So, how you holding up there, buddy?
Exhausted, but I'm here.
Don't know. Tonight was one of those. I started the night. It's like we were fine doing the pre-show, the setup. We start showing, and all of a sudden, I have to clear my throat like crazy.
Right.
It's like, what the hell? To the point of, I was really glad I have a mute button on my stream deck. It's like,
yeah,
I'm just gonna. Anyway, yeah.
And yes, folks, I was actually kind of proud of that MNW TF. I had some fun with that, even if it was having fun with it an hour before airtime.
I had debated doing the Cleaver one, but then I was like, it's really quick. And it almost became moment of the week, but then I was looking at, can I really ignore the stack up? I mean,
right. Well, and like with that one for me, obviously the Mad World bit in there, like I put just enough because I was keeping an eye on DMCA, so I just a small sample of it. But then I was also like, man, this is going for a while. I don't really have anything else. Oh, crickets, yeah, crickets would work perfectly.
Yeah, why not crickets? There we go. Yeah. So a couple things as we get into the post game section of our show. Want to remind everyone, this upcoming Sunday on the MNW YouTube channel at 5 p.m. Pacific time, we are having another character workshop. So we're going to talk about character play and writing promos. We are going to specifically examine the dynamics of being a heel and being a face. And yes, we will cover tweeners and why they're fairly rare. And we will go over...
need to be rare.
Oh, yeah, they need to be rare. We're going to go over what those dynamics are, how you play them well, and really going to help kind of define what that means, what it means to be a face and a heel, and how you make it work for you. So 5 p.m. Pacific time, MNW YouTube channel, and we're going to have Burnout Vaughn, we're going to have Bosco, we're going to have hopefully Hard Luck, and of course Storytellers Apprentice, Off Key Lamb, and myself, with background support from Sinsuna. And other than that, the other thing I kind of want to bring up, and we teased it during the show, but right now the whole idea of that big showcase match at Multivania for the title, it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be the main event of Multivania. A lot of people can make some strong arguments that they should at least have a chance to qualify for that and be in that main event. A lot of people could do that. A lot of people could do that.
A lot of people could.
A lot of people should do that.
A lot of people?
A lot of people should do that. A lot of you.
Hey, Caliban.
Yeah?
Did a lot of people?
No.
Oh, no, there's your problem.
No. For some reason, people are being shy about that.
There's your problem.
And I'm sitting here like, guys, this is wrestling. Get up there. Go. See, you've got an opportunity. Seize it. What are you doing sitting on the sidelines? I'm seeing people like, I don't feel my character deserves it. Bullshit.
Hey, you seize that carp.
You go for it. I mean, what's the worst going to happen? No, you're not high enough in the card to qualify. Let the brass decide that. Throw your hat in the ring. I'm saying, I'll put in for one of my faction mates. To which I go, weenie. Get in there. Tiki, what are you doing? Put your name in now. Hartley, we've talked about it. There's no reason Doom can't be double champions. Johan, I don't want to hear about it. Go. Victor Vicious, what the hell are you doing? I read your promo. It's a great promo. Bullshit. Get in there. I'm not mincing words here. Big Rock, good job, dude. Perfect justification why you should be in that match. Well done, my friend. Yeah, Big Rock's like, it's a showcase. Hey, it's my match. I go for big belt. Yeah, look out, or Rosso's going to put his name in, because it's not like it wouldn't be the first time he ever invaded Flashbang stuff. Yeah, Matrix. Yeah, we've been talking about. I'm not saying Jerry Aldini might start getting a little spicier. I think kind of playing with the idea that Jerry's about to crack. So yeah, no, get in there, make your promos. Good on Grim Reaper getting in here and declaring right here on. I'm like, where the hell was Hard Luck? He actually could be busy. I mean, he does stuff. Fully expecting him to be in there. And yeah. So yeah, no, I know the feeling there, Tiki. Tiki's saying I've been recovering from vaccinations. Yeah, I had my second shot on Saturday. It was an interesting couple of days.
Didn't quite knock you out, but it debilitated you.
I still made the planning meeting for the the workshop next week. And one of the first things Bosco's like, "Why are you here?" I'm tired, but I can function. Of course, by the end of it, it's like, okay, guys, it's great. I'm gonna go take a nap now. But yeah, no. And then you know what? The next day, about 2 p.m., it's like somebody flipped a switch, and all of a sudden, it's like, and I'm back to normal. Okay, great. Yep. Let's do it. Yeah, Doom could. Here's the thing. I mean, Doom could just terrorize Jerry. Like I say, I think Jerry. It's the more weird thing. Let's just say I got a plan. Tim and I have talked about it. I've got a plan. We know exactly what's going to break Jerry.
Yep.
And
we've got our plans.
And I shared that moment with Joe Mojo, and Joe said, "Please make sure you clip that when it happens."
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, okay. Well, this is kind of community. Hey, anyone got any questions or anything they want to bring up right now, or does anyone want to actually declare for their freaking? Because Bosco pays attention to this show. So if you declare here, he'll hear you. I know he heard. I know he heard Grim Reaper.
He'll know.
He will know. So come on.
Always
Can you be a tweener? No, Sensuna. You cannot. Sensuna, you are one of the biggest baby faces on the show.
Actually, in reference though to workshops, something that has come up, and I can go ahead and at least say that it's something that's being talked about. We have no immediate plans for it, but if you guys just want to know that it is something we are considering, one of the upcoming workshops that we are talking about having is one that I would kind of be spearheading a bit more, and this one would be primarily focused on audio quality.
Yeah, the nuts and bolts of doing a recording.
Well, and just things that you can keep in mind. Look, Ed, you are more than happy to tag along.
I think he's talking to Vince Smoke.
Oh, okay.
You see what's up above? Yeah, no, I think he's saying excuse me.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, no, he knows you studied
audio.
But yeah,
so ways that you can improve your quality, things to keep in mind when you are cutting a promo. Lots of things to keep in mind, and lots of things to learn in terms of why just because you have crap audio tech doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have crap audio promo.
Yeah, there's ways around. There's ways around that.
So
yeah,
that is something that we are talking about setting up in the future. Obviously, we have the one for the heel and face thing that's coming up this Sunday, but in the future we are looking at other workshops like audio.
Mm-hmm. No, and I can, we're looking at what else we can do. We're always looking at things we can do with the YouTube channel, which, by the way, I'm pretty happy. We have now reached 223 subscribers.
Indeed.
It's and we're growing. It's a nice steady growth, and I'll take it. We'll see if anything else leads to more growth, like if any of the lunatics in our community reach out to any legitimate, actual, real-life wrestlers to play video games on stream with them. I'm not naming names.
Right. Oh, also, and we're talking about the YouTube channel and always looking for content. Fresh reminder, folks, if you guys want to come up with content, stuff that could go on the YouTube channel, and send it our way, it could end up on the channel. Obviously, we have to check it, but if you guys want to come up with stuff, we're willing to watch it, listen to it.
We'll take the consideration.
Judge you accordingly.
For example, if anyone decides to make a Titantron for their character, that could also.
And I mean, we've gotten quite a few of the stingers for the end of the YouTube and videos, and those have been great.
Yeah.
We just recently got one from Sasquatch Wing, and it is currently at the end of the most current Warzone episode.
And we also just got one that's going to debut soon from Michael Macabre.
Yep.
So get those stingers. Just one rule on the stingers. Remember, we need them they have to be 20 seconds or less. That's how much time YouTube gives us.
And it will not let you do like 15 seconds, but earlier. No, it is, you could do 15 seconds, but then that cuts off 5. It is, there's little wiggle room there. It will not let you go earlier than the last 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So you have 20 seconds. That's it.
Yeah. So but Tiki, if you want to do a stinger, please do a stinger. Yeah. So anything else? Anything else anyone wants to know? Any questions? Any other community stuff they want to bring up?
Yeah, we can.
And you can either drop stuff in the chat, or the waiting room is still available. And we got the only person waiting in there we can't bring on because they don't have a voice. I think Sensun is mainly there as gatekeeper, and I'd bring him in, but I don't know if the voice bot if we could actually bring the voice bot into the commentary booth.
I don't know. You would have to obviously mix the audio in the call, but
we'd have to do the test, and I don't know if I don't necessarily like to test live on the air. That's a rough thing. We can test it later, Sen. I mean, sure. But,
let's see.
I'm terrified if I bring you in, it'll be Eric. You know what I mean? Not Eric Genericson. Eric. Great. Okay, hang on. Let's see if Sen wants to test. Hang on, Sen. I'm going to try something.
Beep.
Oh, I guess, did everyone here try that again, Sen?
Test.
Did everyone hear that? Okay. I think that worked. Okay, so
yeah, I heard it. Yeah, okay.
We are joined by Sensuna. El Pollo themselves is now in their bot. Here's the terrifying thing: if people have never joined a voice call, so Sensuna, there are reasons why Sensuna does not have a microphone, doesn't come across voice. So we've been testing technology on the Discord to allow people with issues where they can't directly speak to communicate. The problem is there are many voices to choose from. And what you have been hearing has been Sensuna's default voice. There are others, including one that gives us cold chills whenever it is used. And I know I'm tempting fate.
Shall I?
You might as well let them meet Eric. Now, take a second because Senna has to actually type and then hit play and probably talk over me because that's usually how it happens with a bot.
Oh.
So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, in a way, we have another Eric. Hello, Edward Bosco.
Hi, this is Eric Jenerickson. I am a robot.
I've suspected for a long time. Now we just. How's it going?
It's
No,
no, Eric.
I am Eric
I am Eric
Jenerickson.
Jenerickson.
And yeah, that's the Eric. You know what's worse? There is actually one of the voice choices is actually called Naja.
Ah.
And it is horrifying because it translates the voice into another language.
Nice.
It is so weird. Anyway. Yeah. All right. So we know one thing coming up. We know that in a couple of weeks, Helixux is going to get his shot at Nero. And we know that not enough people have been stepping forward to declare their shot at for the showcase match.
This is true.
And I've been here. I've been all week trying to tell people, no, right, do promos, and everyone's coming. Oh, I don't know if I'm really deserving. It's like, well, you won't know till you try. But this is wrestling. If your character doesn't have an ego, what are you doing? I feel we should actually bring that up during the workshop on Sunday. Anyway.
If someone wants help writing a promo, I'm open to help.
It is true. Sensuna is one of our promo teachers. I'm not trying to murder anyone. I'm the kind and avuncular character.
That is not true.
Do you even know what avuncular means?
Yeah, so cardiovascular is where you basically it's with your heart. It's the thing you do in the gym when you're on the treadmill for too long.
That's right. That is also not what avuncular means, but thank you for playing.
Cardiovascular, what?
So, anyway, anyone got any? Yes, thank you, Daver Boy. You know, it almost doesn't surprise. What Daver Boy got it right?
What, being an uncle?
Yeah.
Oh, he did get it.
He did. Yeah.
Oh, I just looked at the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not like I knew you would actually know the real answer. I just want to see how you're going to flip me shit.
No, I thought you said cardiovascular.
Why would I say cardiovascular?
Because you need to work out because you're avuncular.
Actually, aha! There you go. That was very, very well. Wow. Way to bring it around.
That is very duck season of you.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, anyone else got any questions while we're here for either promo teacher Sensuna, showrunner Edward Bosco, or Tim and I, as we sit here trying to do what we can for this community
and try to stretch your time out to 9 o'clock.
Little bit, although I don't know. I probably like last week. We'll probably end up ending early because it does feel like it's
true. That being said, I do have a raid suggestion. Somebody you've probably never raided before.
Oh, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we are wrapping up because I don't see anyone. Watch as we say, "Hey, let's do the shill time." Somebody will come up with a question because it's weird.
It's true, but then you just answer it before the shill's over.
You don't know who suggested Thunderbunga? Travis doesn't know who suggested Thunder. I thought you suggested Thunderbunga, Travis.
No, that was the creation stream.
Yeah, it just sounds like something he would suggest.
Oh yeah, Draco. We should chat out Draco.
Oh, we should.
Sure.
We should. Does anyone have the? Carla, can you get me the? Tell you what, Tim, can you give Carla permission to post a link in the chat?
Or I could do that.
Or you can actually do it. Yeah. Hey.
What?
Bam.
I actually messed it up. Yep.
Ah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
So Bosco got it in there.
Wait. Say that one more time.
Bosco got it in there?
Win. Yeah, I didn't get the go part of it, so
yeah,
I lose.
So the Draco family, the players of Moira Draco, Lord Bareback, and Drthulu are having a little bit of a rough time. They're in a rough situation that we're trying to help them get out of. So there has been a GoFundMe set up for them. It's about 47% complete. So about halfway there. So if anyone can donate, it would be much appreciated. And there is the link. You can see it under the name Edward Bosco on the in the chat. So any help that could go to the Draco family would be much appreciated. Yeah, you say that, Travis, but once it's actually in the game, he'll look at it and go, "What?" Which is what we want to have happen. I mean, I see the MVP. I know you heard my joke about we now know how the MVP will return to
sadly
MNW. It will be for a book tour.
It's a tell-all book, right?
Yeah, he's gonna let all the secrets.
What an asshole! He wrote a book.
And there's an entire chapter to just burying Lucius Constantine.
I didn't need to bury Lucius Constantine. The booking did that for me.
And there you go.
All
right. Well, I do think because at this point we're just bullshitting, and I don't want to keep doing that for another 20 minutes. I mean, we could, but you don't need to be
streaming for it.
Yeah, but YouTube guys will go, "Why are they still going on? What the hell?" Yeah. So
I always figured you'd cut this part out.
I make decisions. I often will keep some of the shilling in, but this time,
definitely cut this out. This is terrible.
It's really I'm not. It probably not going to last. Hey, but speaking of which, for the audience here, let's do the quick shilling. Hey, Sensuna, do you have anything you want to shill?
Yeah, where do you stream, Sensuna? Do you want to drop your information? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
And now we exercise patience.
You're gonna need that back in here. That's
Oh, the bot drops out. Yeah, that's the other problem with the bot. It drops out. Where is
you're gonna want to.
I didn't even see it. I don't know where it went.
Ha! Oh,
that's okay. Hey, you know what? I can read it for it and see. I do not have permissions to join the voice channel. Okay, fair enough.
Excellent. If someone wants to help writing a promo, I'm here to help when I am even bothered to stream. That's fair.
Fair enough.
They don't want to. Twitch.tv/Sensuna84.
Yeah. Tim, what do you got going on lately?
Well, I was unable to do it this Tuesday, but I'm going to take another crack at it and keep going on my playthrough of Xenogears 2.0, a fan mod of the original Xenogears game that adds that swaps the controls and language to Japanese audio while maintaining English subs. Other than that, it's basically the same game. And I'll be continuing my playthrough that on Tuesdays. And when on Tuesdays, you can find out at Storytellers AP2 on Twitter.
All right. And Bosco, what do you got going on this week?
Oh, Flashbang's tomorrow.
Flashbang's tomorrow. Any other previews you want to give us?
Well, I'll let you in on a secret. The last 4 shows have been completely RNG. I haven't recorded a match in weeks.
There you go.
And that trend will continue tomorrow. So if you see somebody win tomorrow, it was RNG.
There you are. Hey,
so my streak of getting what I want stays alive.
Fair enough. And then, of course, Saturday you got D&D.
Yep, Prince Division. And then Monday I've got the game with Arcadum.
So is the watching Dark Elevated going to continue being a tradition while that's going on?
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Yeah, no, it was fun last week.
And people there were a couple people who messaged me were like, "Dude, that was actually really fun. Thank you." And I'm like, "What? All right, I guess enough people give a shit that we're going to keep doing this."
Fair enough. Hey, something, there might have been a tweet that happened during that show. We don't know. Something I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, who do we go after next?
It's not my place to say, but
Marty did a couple of weeks ago, and apparently he's driving to Jacksonville, according to his own words. So good news, maybe.
He actually streamed.
He was actually at Blood and Guts, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if he was on camera for anything, but I think I saw on social media he had a picture of himself and some buddies at the stadium.
Be nice to see if that goes. I mean, pull in for Marty. always like the dude. All right, and then here on Monday at twitch.tv/Dr_Caliban, we are going to continue our playthrough of Evil Genius 2 World Domination. It's getting interesting. Red Ivan and his rocket launcher are ready to take over the world. Wednesday, last couple Wednesdays, we've had to cancel Flag and Dragons because there's been technical difficulties and we haven't been able to group together. So we'll see if Flag and Dragons happens on Wednesday or not. But definitely be back here next Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern for MNW Firing Line, your guide to Multiverse Nexus Wrestling. So now, Bosco, you said you had a rating suggestion.
Yeah, Zymosite is streaming. TJ Gable.
Ooh, okay. Hey, and I just started following the Zymosite stream thanks to a raid that happened earlier from another stream I follow.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, Zymosite. Oh, yeah.
Good people.
Zymosite only has one person, so sure, let's...
Yeah, that has to change.
Let's raid Zymosite.
Yeah, 1/3 of the absolute units.
So what should our raid message for Zymosite be?
Combo breaker.
There we go. Combo breaker. I'll take it.
You can do it with a combo breaker.
I misspelled. I thought I got it right. Raid. It's XAIMISYTE. I think I missed the second I.
Yes.
There it goes. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's always great to have you around, and we will see you all next week. Take care. Stream.